What makes an effective kindergarten primary to Year 2 literacy classroom? To consider this question, we need to understand how we as human beings learn. Over the past century, there has been a large focus on the learning theories of behaviourist development compared to cognitive development. Skinner is a theorist who has studied behaviourist theories and believes humans form knowledge by the stimulus response to our environment. Skinner fully disregards the influence of mental processes. Cognitive development, on the other hand, is a theory Piaget has developed, stating that our brain development is constructed from our formed knowledge by our senses. By understanding these different theories and how every individual learns differently, we can adapt a learning environment that supports the development of literacies within the classroom. So what makes an effective literacy classroom? During my placement, I have been observing different literacies and literacy learning in a kindergarten classroom. From these observations, I have constructed examples of what an effective kindergarten classroom may look, feel and sound like by referring to the somatic systems. My practical placement classroom is visually aesthetically pleasing. The classroom manages to balance a warm feel to allow students to feel invited and safe within their learning environment. The teacher has used the students' names and various locations around the room to show students that this is their classroom and they should feel welcome, as an inclusion technique. Students' names are displayed in art on the birthday wall at each student's table and to label their designated work trays. The classroom displays many learning models such as numbers, sight words, art and daily prayers. Holliday was a theorist who comprised a learning model resource that many teachers reflect on within their classroom and pedagogy. These literacy learning steps include learning language, learning about language, and learning through language. The video demonstrates learning language as children are engaged in the functions of oral and written language as a group.
Okay, have a look at my sentence. Can you see any words or letters that you know? Let's go with words. Where's Bailey? Bailey, can you come up and see if you can see anything that you know? You should be looking now. Everyone should be looking now using their brain. What's that say? Does it say me? Ah, it says Bailey. But Bailey. Bailey is in our sentence today. That's interesting. Go and sit down. What else can we see? Sienna, come up and tell me what you can see. Now, children, there's a couple of gold words in here, or maybe one. A gold word and a red word. Oh, so come on, you know this. So have a look. Oh, first part. We have our. Okay, come on, Patrick. Great to see you with your hand up, mate. Sharing your thoughts. Good job. Aha, excellent. So that's will. So we've got Bailey will. So what's that one? Bailey will be. Get your mouth ready for that sound. Bailey will be Jesus. Another reading detective strategy. Getting your mouth ready for the sound. And you just worked out what it was. Bailey will be we know what Bailey's going to be today. Bailey will be Jesus. Okay, we've worked out the second part.
The auditory of a kindergarten classroom highlights the use of multimodal devices and programs. The students participate and engage in many different rotating activities during reading groups. These include the sounds and instructions of computer-based literacy games, listening to audiobooks, and interacting with the smartboard as a whole class activity. This kindergarten classroom have implemented a literacy learning program they use to directly teach students the sounds of letters, called the Jolly Phonics. This program is designed for students to interact with the audio of the music and to sing out loud the jingle of a particular letter they are focusing on learning. The program uses the audio from a CD as well as a big book to visually demonstrate to the students the look of the letter, how to write the letter, and examples of different words the letter starts with. The Jolly Phonics program includes an action for each letter for the children to use as a memory tool when sounding out the letter. For the letter C, the children would click their fingers. Early stage students use a lot of gestures in their reading and writing. In reading, children tend to use their index finger to follow the words on the page they are reading. With writing, children are taught to use 2 finger space between each word they are writing down, as a teaching technique to get students to understand they need spaces between each word. It's not until children have confidently developed their reading and writing skills do they lose this. The linguistics of a classroom vary on the activity and the pedagogy the teacher is using. Students are involved in many literacy activities including group work, discussions, and peer reading. Bandura is a theorist who believes that learning is a cognitive process that is developed from the interactions of others. We as humans are social beings, and interacting or observing others is how we develop and learn. The linguistic aspects of a classroom also include the teacher's pedagogical approach in explaining and instructing the students in different tasks. The influencing factors on receiving the teacher's instructions are affected by how it's delivered, whether this be in a verbal or written form, and what tone and volume is being expressed. This is the same for the children and the way they talk and interact with everyone around them while at school. The last influencing factor of achieving an effective literacy classroom is the environment and spatial aspects of design. As shown in the photo, the room is brightly coloured with many learning models decorated on the wall. The room shows various forms of literacy students can engage with, including the big book, the smartboard, and the book corner on the far left. The room also displays allocated areas including the prayer square and the activities corner to the far right. Now that I have demonstrated what an effective literacy classroom looks like, I will further investigate what makes up a young literacy learner to further understand how students learn. Young literacy learners are students developing into effective communicators with a strong verbal phonemic awareness by the time they start school. Young children as speakers will be able to code switch, meaning they'll be able to linguistically change the way they speak within different contexts. Young literacy learners can assimilate and comprehend new words to their personal vocabulary after hearing it 1 to 2 times. As listeners, students should be engaged in Camborne's first condition of learning, the immersion stage. This is the stage where students show an engagement to what is being taught as they comprehend the information they are hearing. Young students as readers use the 4-resource model to understand and comprehend the text they are reading through the steps, breaking the code's text, by understanding the language and sentence they are reading correctly, participating in meaning of the text, comprehending the uses of text functionality, meaning what is the purpose behind the text? Is it instructional or is it a fictional book for enjoyment? And finally, being able to critically analyze and transform text. To be able to successfully achieve this stage, students must be able to use what they have learnt from reading and completing critical tasks that reflect what the students have learnt. Young writers need to be using cueing systems to review their work and reflect if it looks right and sounds right. Holliday's learning resource model reflects the notion of young readers, the stage of learning about language, as the students engage in writing and demonstrate knowledge of spelling, punctuation, and grammar. When young literacy learners view literacy, they bring with them their funds of knowledge, This is the knowledge they previously know about their environment, culture, family, and everything else that has a major impact on their lives. Children grow from what they know, and they are able to bring their existing knowledge to school and advance in many ways. This could be that they know a lot about bugs, and therefore show advancing results in science. A young creator of knowledge fits in with the responsibility condition from Campbell's learning model. Campbell suggests that responsibility to learning means that students take control of their own work and are able to show initiative when it comes to their own learning, and are able to create and develop their own work into something more. From reviewing the qualities of young literacy learners, we as teachers are able to see the connections between the different theorists and learning models that support children's literacy development. It is clear to understand how young children learn and what an effective literacy learning environment looks like, not just visually. Thank you for listening to my presentation.